to the No Practice Podcast, where we cover the only sport in the world where there is no practice. With your mini rod driving host, Adam Kester, Tyler Slaw, and Chase Richardson. Strap in for some debates on the world of pulling, exclusive special guests, and a whole lot of nonsense BS. The No Practice Podcast starts now.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is July 24th, Wednesday. Like usual, the No Practice Podcast is online. What's up, boys?
How we doing, Adam? Congrats on your big win last weekend.
Thanks, man.
Hey, Adam, congrats on insulting every mini rod competitor there by fist pumping for a good 150 foot. But congratulations.
We're going to have to get with Dan Mayer. Was that perhaps the longest fist pump that I've ever personally seen?
I don't know because now that I looked at the video I think it was maybe a little bit premature on the fist pumping. Luck, I would have probably thrown the rods out right before I passed him in the other time. But yeah, there was a little fist pump early there. I enjoyed it.
For those that haven't seen, hopefully we have a video of Adam's pass. He started pumping his fist out the roll cage, which is a sign as a competitor of saying, my pass is not done yet, but I know I've got all your asses covered. And typically You'll see that in maybe the last 5, 10, 15, 20 feet, something like that. Here we go. Here it is. So everybody take note at the point in which Adam begins fist pumping, a total of 320 feet, picks the front end just absolutely beautifully. And right there, Adam, you had to be thinking, I'm on one.
Well, I tell you what, I was thinking I was on one because the front end wasn't going up and down. When I noticed that it was packing the front end the whole time, right about here, I knew we were going.
We see him abandon the steering wheel, holds his left hand up, and just for 100 feet almost, it looks like, just pumping his fists out of the roll cage. But you backed it up. The margin of victory was what, 17 feet over second place?
Something like that, yeah.
Which happened to be Mr. Chase, which makes it even sweeter.
I was right second. I was third. No, I was third. But yeah, thanks for reminding me, Tyler.
I saw
Live.
I saw Chase go down the track, and I knew that there was still something there. I mean, it was actually a very phenomenal track there on Friday night. I mean, it was wet, tacky, and lucky enough we were able to make it work out. But yeah, it was pretty surreal, man, to be the last hook in the class to be able to do that. You know, it was really funny. My first pass, I'm sitting down there, and I'm one of those people that my dad beat it in my head after Troy, Missouri, in, I don't know, 2006 or 2007. I was first hook, and I went 296 feet, and I dropped it. And I came back last in the class, and I detonated, and I turned down a second place finish. And I ended up probably like 8th or 9th. So ever since then, I've been pretty gun shy on dropping that first hook. But so I'm sitting down there, and I knew the front end had kind of gone up and down a little bit, right? But it wasn't a bad run, totally. So I'm sitting down there, and I'm putting in reverse, and Scott Doty's looking at me like, thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm sitting there, and I'm going, shit, I kind of give him the thumbs down. He goes, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And I faked not being able to get it in gear, so I shut the tractor off. I was hoping like maybe Toby would come running up and say, "Drop it, drop it, drop it," But I'm sitting there and I'm like, "Yeah, I'll drop it." And Toby finally ran up at the last minute as they're dragging me along, and he's like, "You dropped that, didn't you?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Good." So I was that close from taking it, though.
Adam, it would have held up to be like a fourth place, right, or third?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
but not first.
Not first. That is right. So that's the gamble you take. That's the gamble you take, man.
As I'm sure most of our listeners know, as test hook, you get to make a pass, and you have the option to either accept that or come back at the end or drop 6 or come right back and make another pass. But you give away that first distance. And so I feel like everybody's been there where you drop that pass, you come back at the end, put a second run on all of your stuff, and then you do worse, and there's nothing worse than that.
Well, I mean, I had it happen last year. I turned down a number one hook at Fort Recovery, and I came back last in the class, and it took off really well, and then I had a spark plug push the electrode in. So reminder this time when we dropped, I came back. I'm like, we need new spark plugs in this thing.
Good call.
So
good call.
I was going to ask you, Tyler, do you have any test hook blunders turning down something that ended up being screwed up?
Nothing like iconic where it was like, oh man, I would have won, but I ended up getting a 10th place finish because of that. But I have had those moments where I have dropped my pass, and as I'm getting pulled off the track, my dad, Bruce, is like, "You kept that, right?" And I'm like, "No, I dropped that." And he's like, "Oh," which that's never good. But you got that moment to come back and try to back it up. So
what's your deal with it, Chase? What do you think? You've been test hooked the last 2 hooks, so.
Yeah, it's really crazy because, we see these lineups early in advance. We have 2 tractors, and this is like some go-to-the-casino roulette shit. Vibrator, the one I drive, we've been to 10 hooks this year. It's pulled before the pile driver 9 out of 10 times. Not that it has anything to do with it, but, like, there's something not right about that. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever recalled a time where I really just said, damn, I shouldn't have dropped that. Probably because I don't make that many good runs, or typically don't, but it's I like being test hook when I can be, but it's always a
you like being test hook everywhere but Louisville, right?
Exactly, I guess. Yeah, Louisville's a different animal, but it's you ever come across that with I was going to say this, excuse all the background noise. We're in a chaotic shop right here, and was in the middle of helping these guys load and was going to sharpen my mini rod tires, and I told them I had something to do, and they said some kind words to me as I got my computer out.
I'm sure very kind words for sure. Well, speaking of background noise, you guys may also hear some background noise from me as we are at our 3rd PPL points hook currently. So I am sitting, I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a 4-engine tractor right now 300 feet away from me.
That's awesome.
So and they're spinning in, and sounds like a decent pass.
So
there's a long one.
It's all about the content. Tyler, you got background noise at a pool. I've got background noise. My team and guys were loading everything up and doing shit I should be helping them with. And then Adam's just putting his orange chair right there for everybody to see. That's
absolutely. So I'm at a pull. I quit watching a pull to come into our toter and sit here and talk pulling instead of watching a pull. I can't say I had that on my bingo card of my lifetime ever, but here we are. I think this means I like pulling that much. I'm not quite sure if the true diehard would be out there watching or not, but nonetheless,
we might be down a little bit on viewership tonight because I'm sure there's people that are watching that pull right now. So
I know, right?
But that's okay.
Hopefully no pullers come barging in to the toter and interrupt this. Fingers crossed.
Well, that's okay. If they do, we'll just have to interview them for a couple minutes and then send them on the merry way.
And apologies in advance at any background commentary you might hear. I promise it's all with good-hearted spirits. You might hear something you shouldn't hear, though. So
we might get to see that iconic shirtless gentleman that comes with you.
Oh yeah, it might be a. We've been talking about this. Might be the time for a segment for the shirtless wonder, Mr. Donald himself, who helps us.
Yeah,
so I'm sure we can price.
If he happens to be passing by, just make sure you grab him and drag him in.
I'm sure he always speaks so kindly and happy to talk to me, so we'll be sure to get him in.
So maybe we need to get that guy on there at some point in time, because I think we did a recap there at Tomah that we had some fans at Hutchinson that came up to us after the pull.
Oh yeah,
they showed up at your trailer and they're like, "Is Chase around?" And Donald's like, "I don't know where that mother's at."
Yeah, he's
like, "Okay, we'll leave. See ya."
Yeah. He works for my dad. He doesn't work with me, so
yeah.
We'll make that very known for sure.
Always happy to see him.
What happened to your tractor? I did rewatch the Friday stream, and I saw you on a decent pass. I mean, you didn't have anything for Mr. Adam, but your tractor just kind of quit moving, and the RPMs came up there at the end. What happened there?
Yeah, knew immediately it was a driveline issue, which we've all had some sort of driveline issue. You don't really know where it is till you get back to the trailer. But long story short, we had a rear end failure that was probably due to not running enough oil in the the rear end as we evaluated it. And also, we don't run 2 times very often. So, I think obviously I was initial test hook. They reset the sled before Adam became the new test hook. But
did you drop your pass? So it was kind of a reset.
You have to feel pretty good because you went 298 feet. They reset the sled. I went 299 feet. How much did they change it?
So you're saying I would have won if they left alone, Adam? Yeah, that's so nice of you. I don't even know. It was we don't normally run 300 feet.
That is true.
Like I can't tell you last time. I mean, Adam went 320, but the rest.
Did you drop it? I mean, before you knew, did you drop it before?
Yes, I was dropping it regardless. So.
Oh well. Yeah. So it's not like they reset the sled on you. You didn't take your pass anyway.
Well, no, I'd like to say I would have won. I'll just tell Adam I would have won if they hadn't reset it, even though I dropped it.
So in other words,
probably would have.
You gave away the winning distance, is what you're saying.
Yeah, except I dropped it, but yeah, sounds like a hell of a story.
I hear you.
Yeah, so Tyler, you ran last weekend, Henry, Illinois, is that right?
Yes, I was in Henry, Illinois. I ended up 3rd, which is a significant improvement when you're coming off of getting like 21st place. So that was feeling really good. If I can just keep heading in that direction, we'll be feeling pretty good about that. Henry has an excellent beer tent for those that have never gone, and it does not disappoint. We went to the demo derby the day before, and I got to say, I used to love demo derbies as a kid, but those are some sandbagging mother effers. Like they just drive around out there and they're lightly tapping each other. Nobody wants to go balls out until the very end. And like to the point where the announcer was even like, ring around the rosy, somebody do something out there. And so if you're deciding I'm either going to go to the demo derby or the tractor pull, nobody in tractor pulls sandbags. So I would suggest you just go to the tractor pull instead of the demo derby. I might be biased, but that's my opinion.
Nobody sandbags. Nope.
Yeah. Also, we need to shout out our special guest tonight. Speaking of Chapel Hill, Saturday Night Unlimited winner, Mr. Joe Eder. That unlimited class through 4 hooks has had 4 different winners, so it's been pretty highly competitive. And I think there's 6 or 7 running total, but I think any 6 or 7 can win at any time, which has been proven at this point. So Joe needs no introduction. Hall of Fame puller who's I think battled some mechanical issues. Probably heard him a couple times this year, but happy to have him. He's actually at a pull. He's at Port Recovery preparation for this weekend. Where
is he right now?
Yeah, he's there now. He it's his tractor. Believe he left Chapel Hill, dropped it off, went to his home in New York, and then came back today. So, but Adam and Joe and our team will be there this weekend. Fort Recovery, always a big pull, big time. Catch it live on Full Pull Live. But happy to have Joe joining us on the show here shortly. I think he's come up his 99th win, career win.
Yep. It's sad. I have to say, I'll be at Fort Recovery this weekend. Tyler's going to be in my hometown, pulling at Evansville, Indiana, which I'm heartbroken, honestly. If you look at the point standings, yes, I'm in 3rd place with one of the tractors. The other 2 are a dismal 11th and 14th.
You should have brought the other 2 and come on out and play.
Hey, Tyler, the other 2 are down there with me.
You know what's really funny about this now that I think about it? So we're sitting at Fairfield the other night, which I got 2nd, 5th, 7th or something like that.
You did great.
And if I would have got the license, right, which the year before I paid the money for all 3 tractors to be a Champions Tour, blah, 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 blah. I didn't go to a single hook, ended up not getting anything, right? So this year we show up and they ask, well, what do you want to do? I say, I don't know, I just do per hook. So if I would have got the points license or whatever you want to call it, I think I would have been sitting 1st, 3rd, and 5th in points, and then I would have had no choice. But I'm just gonna say right now, folks, I'm not gonna miss Chapel Hill for anything, and I hope everybody understands that. But it really breaks my heart not to get to pull up my hometown. I've never got to pull here. It's the last time my dad ran here was in 2001, I do believe, and it's a very cool event, Tyler. You're going to be blown away by the fans and the atmosphere of the pull because it's really nice. But I apologize to all my friends and family that have never got to see me that close to home. But Fort Recovery is one of the most historic NTPA tractor pulls, I feel, in my heart. The track is very tricky. The left track pulls you to the left. It's a game with the track every year. The crowd's always good. They're really building that event back, and it's a really neat event to go to. I see that we're going to have like 30 tractors there. That means Evansville, you're probably going to have at least 15. I mean, there's a lot of really good minis out there. Yeah. So there's good numbers. It's going to be good. For those
confused, because I just said I was at Goshen, I'm at Goshen right now. Then the following day, we pull tomorrow here in Goshen. Friday, we run in Evansville. And then Saturday, we run in Altamont. So we got 3 pulls in 3 days at 3 different locations.
Right.
Adam, we talked about this in one of our first episodes, but people I don't think understand about licensing and all that stuff. I think I made the comment, or one of us did, because I do believe in this. You have to get certain type of licensing to be able to get points. You can't just show up and get them where.
It costs more money. It costs more money to do the points.
I think anybody that shows up should get points, but that's just me. But explain, for those that don't know quickly.
We got a lot of hate mail last time we talked about points. People don't understand the amount of hate mail that comes with this show.
Yeah, speaking of, we're not going to name names because
don't name names, Chase.
I can't afford any more names to be dropped.
We introduced the hater inbox, I think, episode 3 or 4, and it got quiet.
Oh, the hater inbox is overflowing.
No, it reemerged quickly, and just want to make a statement, and I know Adam and Tyler agree with this. Like, this show, we're here to have fun. We're here to promote pulling and get everybody, like, real context, and we always joke it's like sitting around in our trailers after a pull, but, like, talking like we always do. Well, if your name gets brought up in the show, it's not a personal attack on anyone. Honestly, if we bring you up, that probably means we like you. So any puller out there, we don't want to make you mad, but we definitely will happily take the hater inbox messages we got, and it was quite colorful. I don't want to get into too much context. You two can speak freely on it. I don't want to.
Only thing I got to say about the deal is, look, man, we're trying to grow the sport. We're trying to have a candid conversation. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but at the end of the day, take a joke, because none of us are getting out of this thing alive. So just remember that.
Or actually, don't take a joke, and then this is a warning. We'll bring your name up on here next time. Or actually, it's not even bring them up. Maybe we should just invite them on to talk about what their unhappiness. But
I will say that we all 3 received quite the message, and I did call up individual and was able to, level things out.
Here goes a mod.
And here goes another 4-engine tractor behind me.
Maybe you should get a mod interrupter tally mark behind you.
Yeah, right. Seriously.
Why don't you just write it on the wall of that beautiful toter home you're sitting in?
Yeah, my dad would be super pleased with that. But anyway, like the boys said, we're here. We're messing around. We don't mean anything attacking. We're not trying to take a run at anybody. No, we're not going to say whose name it was. No, we're not going to say if you guessed it right, if you guess it. But just we're having fun here, guys. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's nothing that is really shared between us. I think Tyler's rapid fire questions, he doesn't bring that stuff to us and say, should I ask this or should I not? I mean, nothing that comes out of any of our mouths. It's very candid.
We don't script any of this.
Let's not put a spotlight on the segment last show that may have caused a problem. It could have been anything the entire show, all right?
I was saying, like, your questions, my questions, Chase's questions, the things that we bring up, whether it be, man, I wish there was practice pod, the segment there where people maybe don't want to be shown of tearing their stuff up, I mean, but it's all meant in good context, right? It's all impromptu. We're doing this live. There's no editing of this podcast. So I'm sure there's things that we've said that I wish I wouldn't have said that. But you know what? You only live once. If you want to live in the future, or if you want to live in the past, more power to you. You can't take anything back. Get over it.
There was some editing one time. Shout out to Billy Beers. But
I needed that.
No editing on this podcast.
That's why you got to tune in live. Then you get it straight. 0 edits, 0 delays, nothing like that. So if something goes bad, you heard it here first, and then it may vanish. But I think that's the only show that receives some edits. So with all that being said, Adam had a really good, kick-ass, lucky weekend in Chapel Hill.
On Friday. Saturday was abysmal. It's terrible.
Well,
but
you still
good
got a
for it.
chair behind you. That's all that matters. And Chase, I believe we had somebody else that had some pretty good luck in Chapel Hill as well. Well, maybe not in Chapel Hill, but because of Chapel Hill, yes?
Yeah. So, and this is a busy week. This is the busiest week of the year, pulling, obviously. Probably. I would say this is always the halfway point. But as it's been talked about, you can wager and game on truck and tractor pulling now, fullpullpicks.com. There's contests through the rest of the week, and then moving into next week and year-round, you'll be able to engage in this. But there was a young lady who I think placed a $10 entry that won close to $700 who wanted to –
if they won $700, they probably wagered like $300, right?
It was $10. No, it was a pro stock class. Let's see, 658. It was $10 entry. So, my friends, if we did that every single day, you could probably do this for a living. I just don't know if it's going to be that easy to do or not. So
if you look below that, you saw that the American Nightmare there had the same 2 picks. Is that correct?
believe I don't. Yeah, but I'm sorry. Yeah, so the big winner was $20. American Nightmare was a $10 entry, so obviously that's cut in half.
Yes, that was the difference.
We've got Bryce Roberts here in the comments saying $20 bet won $658. That is not too shabby.
Yeah,
No, it's not.
We all know how highly competitive some of these classes are. So, again, right now, pick 2 with it. If both your 2 entries finish within the top 3, you're winning cash. And there's been a lot of winners, a lot of activity. Yes, there are some states we know fans are this is not available in, but I can tell you within the next 2 weeks or so, a couple really big pulling demographic states will be live in it. But it's a process, and so far so good. Fans love it. So we're going to call up this young lady who was the winner. Maybe we can get her to
you have their number.
Yeah, I'm calling right now. Maybe we can get her to sponsor for the winner.
How about shout out to Esden Lemke for winning his first Grand National Tractor Pull ever?
Yes. Is this the lady who placed a $20 entry and won $658 on Full Pull Picks?
Yes, this is she.
Have you collected your money yet?
I have.
What have you done with your money?
I put it in savings.
Savings. Okay, so you're actually sorry for the background noise. So you're actually doing it educationally. So sometimes with gaming and wagering, it can be a stereotypical thing that people blow money, but you're using it to help fund things for yourself in the future by a savings account. Is that correct?
Yes.
When's your next contest you're going to wager?
I don't know. Might be this weekend for recovery.
So you're strategic. You just go in and win and leave. That's probably not a bad thing. Okay.
Was she watching live when it happened?
Were you watching live when it happened?
I was, yes.
How excited did you get?
So I actually watched just the pro stocks go. That was the only class that I put money on, and I actually had to leave my parents' house because I was house sitting, and I totally forgot about it until like 2 a.m. the next morning. I woke up and I was like, I should check my Full Pull Picks and see what I got, and I thought I was scammed actually. So I sent a screenshot to my parents, and I was like, is this legit? And a lot of money. So yeah, I was pretty excited.
Did you take your parents out for dinner?
No.
Okay. Well, I'd say
take me out for dinner.
They can take you out for dinner. Are you above 18? Please tell us you're above 18 at least, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I just turned 26 yesterday.
26. Well, happy birthday. Happy early
Chase.
birthday.
Settle down, Chase.
No. It's not like that. Where are you located? What state are you in?
I'm in Eau Claire, Wisconsin.
You're in Wisconsin, one of the approved states. So, well, we appreciate you taking the time and being an active participant. I'm sure we will see many more winnings to that account here in the future. And thanks for being an example to all people on what to do when they win money, and that's put it away in the savings and not wager it. So kudos to you. Yes. And we look forward to seeing you again. So this weekend you're going to be watching again via live stream and making some entries on Fort Recovery. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes. Yep.
Well, do yourself a favor and bet on Adam Kester in the 200 foot fist pound We got to come up with a new nickname. I can't make fun of him anymore. Did you see what he did to the other mini rock competitors?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty insulting, wasn't it? Would you consider that?
We'll see.
Would you consider that insulting if you were competing against them?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just want to clear that up. All right. Have a nice
It's
evening.
insulting. It's really insulting.
Don't yell at the
Everybody
lady.
was supposed to feel good for me.
This is
now
this is about the fans, Adam. Don't insult the lady.
I felt good for you, Adam. I got to
Thanks,
say,
buddy.
while she was talking,
She's still on here. I got to let her go. All right.
oh, goodbye.
Appreciate your time. Have a good weekend, and keep adding to those savings.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So Ahmad had to have been wide open, jacked the throttle, and just hammered right back into it. And now it's been kind of quiet out there. Oh, I wish I was out there right now.
Who are we taking bets on who that was?
I was going to say we could probably pull up the live results and see who it is.
Ooh, we see Lindsey Campbell checking in here, by the way. Adam had a fantastic pass, abandoning his steering wheel, but his steering wheel stayed on. Shout out to Jeff Hurt for winning last weekend, and his steering wheel came off, and he just held his steering wheel up while he still just kicked all of our asses.
Well, speaking of that, dude, so if you look back at the run there,
Wasn't even good.
The front tires did skip a little bit. It could have been very, very bad.
Oh,
Jeff's scenario, his wheels were
run?
really cut, and when it came down, it could have been very bad.
yeah.
But-
So his wheels were turned like this, and the front end touched down, and they just kind of went like that, and it didn't even upset the tractor. It just kept going straight. Only Jeff
Yeah,
Hurt.
I mean,
This is Jeff's
I've
run?
seen Max Smith take a mini rod where he lost the steering wheel, and he kind of just throws the steering wheel and grabbed the hex shaft and kind of.
Yeah, I remember that. I
Jeff
think it
was just
Bowling
holding
Green.
the steering wheel.
Max Smith grabs the wheel and he kind of tucks it down by his side and just grabs the shaft and just steered it like that. What a bunch of badass.
it was crazy. Just to think that to slow the run down enough. I mean, we're talking about 12 seconds here, so there's a little bit of time. But having the knowledge to go, oh shit, we better put this down and
then
do
be
something
like,
here.
I'm sitting here
This
doing
is
a bit of self-reflection,
Everything's fine.
and we're talking about Adam fist pumping at 200 feet. I could not imagine the amount of damage and bad shit that would happen to me if I did that. And then you double down Jeff Hurt holding the steering wheel in his hand. Like between those two things, if I even attempted to do one of them, I'd probably not be alive. So shout out to Adam and Jeff for being badasses.
Well, you're not going to see that out of me very much anymore. I'm just saying right now. I've
But we
only
got-
fist pumped
we
3
got the shit
times.
once.
When I was a rookie, I was at Wasion. I did it. And when the front end came down, it shot across the track. My dad told me, you will never do that again. The second time I did it was when I won Chapel Hill 2 years ago, and I had no choice. But it was as I was going past the cone. This year, I didn't realize that we were that far away from the leader cone when I started doing it.
I think you were doing your leg too, like you were doing the leg with it.
Yeah,
It was like-
the leg was in there.
It was a full gyration, if you will.
Yeah. I think I should have just put my hand up like Tyler. When Tyler makes a good run, a lot of guys will just throw their arm up. They're doing the pumping. I was doing the fight, baby.
I liked it.
Love it.
The fight.
It's all good.
You're getting political now. We're going to hurt somebody's feelings, Adam. Be careful.
No, sir.
all kinds of contests there this week available. Wow, it's opening today through Saturday.
And it is legitimately who's, anybody's game, right? So anybody can win these pulls. I got first on Friday night. I finished 11th with the same tractor on Saturday.
Well, and nothing against the Theobalds because they've been whooping everybody's ass at the beginning of this year, dominating. And it came to Chapel Hill, and finally they had a weekend where they didn't just make everybody look stupid. Like I saw some of the odds, and I think it was Grant was like 1.0 something. That's how confident everybody was. Just, oh yeah, he's going to smoke everyone. And that's freaking tractor pulling. That's what people will tell you.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough.
That's just tractor pulling. I believe we have a little segment where things didn't go so right for an
Man, I wish
individual.
there was practice. We've missed it.
Man, I wish there was practice. Indeed. So I believe we're going to make a little phone call to a gentleman by the name of Colton Whitworth. And we are shouting back to Tomah, Wisconsin. Colton runs 2 tractors, and he made 2 passes, and neither one of them went well. We're going to give him a call right now, and we're hoping that he answers.
Hello.
Mr. Whitworth, Colton, how are we doing tonight?
Great.
We've got you live here on the No Practice Podcast with Mr. Chase Richardson and Adam Kester. and we're going to be playing a little video of both of your passes in Tomah, Wisconsin. But I'm at a tractor pull right now, and there's a 4-engine tractor going down the track behind me, so give me about a 4-second pause. Okay.
Oh, he got out of it early.
Yeah, he got out of it early. Not a good pass, Colton, I got to say. So tell us from your end, Colton, how those passes went.
Boy, they were pretty rough. I mean, when something like that happens, it just happens so fast that it's just hard to react that quick. But looking back on it, it was rough.
The worst of the two, I would say, came first as you headed for that left sideline, and just the weights go flying and everything. What does it take to fix a tractor after a pass like that?
The whole tractor had to be brought home, stripped down, engine pulled out, stripped of airframe pretty well. And
now go on. No, you're good. Go on, sir.
The chunk, the part of the frame that was damaged was cut out and had to have a whole new section put into it. So.
Okay, that was going to be my question: is if the whole set of frame rails were trashed and you got to just reuse, the rear portion, of course, being so rigid in the front axle, but you were able to save some of the frame rails.
Yeah, from the front axle back to the front engine mount was replaced. Everything else was saved. So.
Jeez. Now, do you guys do all that yourself, or do you have a place that you work with to help you get that accomplished?
No, Lance Black would be 2 hours south of us. He actually did the repair work.
Okay, so have you pulled it since?
Yes, we took it to Decorah, Iowa, and actually got a win with it.
Oh, look at that, from 0 to hero, huh?
Easy fix.
Yeah, took it to Henry also and got a second, so it's been working pretty good.
Look at you go. How good does that feel after doing a repair like that, to take it out and say, that don't mean nothing to us?
It feels great. It's a good confidence booster after taking a ride like that.
Is, in hindsight, had you had a time machine after those passes, and you could go back and change your setup to do something again, I mean, obviously move more weight forward is a given. Is that pretty much the only adjustment you make? Is there a driving adjustment? How do you prevent that?
Well, all the weight was already on the front, so
I figured so.
The drop bar would have had to been brought down, but I mean, the best thing to do would have been when it darted left, just to backed out of it and drop and come back, because that was the worst part. Having to get on the brake when the front end got up that high. That's upset the apple cart pretty fast.
And then how much, after having that first rough ride, trying to climb in the second tractor, trying to go down through there and make a pass, I mean, it's impossible. That doesn't mess with you.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I was shaking a little bit, but it just something you gotta flush it out of your mind and forget about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought he came off the line really good on the second pass, and he kind of feathered it out a little bit longer. Do you think any of it had to do with how hard you came off the line and it kind of blew the tires away, then hooked up? That really upset it?
Yeah, that had a big part to do with it. We made a bunch of changes to the tune-up from Friday afternoon there in Tomah to Saturday night.
Yeah, you had her hopped up, didn't you? It come out a lot more aggressive than I was expecting, and that didn't have nothing or help at all. That's for sure.
So is that built into the tune-up, or is it you're building boost to come off the line, you drop in the clutch? Is there a lot you can do, or when those turbos light, you're just holding on?
No, you can you got to kind of feather it out with the clutch, but when an engine gets closer to, I'm not going to say lean, but real close to that edge, those turbos like to come to life real fast. It's harder to control it.
Right.
Well, we're glad to hear that you got her put back together. Was that the roughest ride you'd ever taken, or do you have any of them worse than that?
No, that's by far the worst. That tractor's actually been crashed before, but not near that bad.
Well,
it looked like a mini rod out there.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I hope so.
Have you ever considered hopping in a mini rod? Because you look like you can take a wild ride and just brush it right off and go do it again.
Oh, I'd love to, but I'm a little too big and burly of a guy to hop in a mini rod.
You're a pretty big dude. I've chatted with you before. How many LBs are you putting down these days? What's your weight at?
About 300. So
300? Oh, I think you could do it.
Big boy to go in a mini rod.
I think you could sneak it in there.
Steve Klingenberg got in one.
Yeah, Steve Klinkenberg rode one, and I think he was about 300 pounds at the time. So
yeah. Maybe one day we'll have to build one and see. I don't know.
I support it, sir.
With super stocks for now, so
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, hey, thanks for taking the time for us and giving your input on what happened with those passes, and best of luck the rest of the season. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thank
Colton.
you. Bye.
Thanks. That was, I mean, really watching that, because we were sitting in the trailer doing the live stream when that happened, and I knew right away when I saw that thing. You could kind of hear the engine kick upstairs, and I guess when those turbos light, man, they're going right. Like you're holding on at that point.
I mean, much like
it stood up.
Yes, much like we called him last week or 2 weeks ago, I should say, Mike with the turbocharged mini rod. He didn't have as wild a ride as what he had at Tomah last weekend, but still, you see those chargers light, and that thing just gets angry and comes to life, and
yeah.
There's not much you can do about it. Turbos are vicious.
Yeah, Colton's been making some really good passes. I mean, he's really been doing well the last couple of years here, and you hate seeing that because it was like there was so much weight on the nose when it came down, and it kind of buckled, and then when it buckled, it kind of grabbed in the ground, and then it kind of stuck it, and then that kind of pushed everything up underneath it. And
that light super class, it's kind of seems to me like it's gone in waves. I mean, it was probably as popular class as any, in the early 2000s, and I think they hurt for numbers there for a bit maybe, and now, they have what I saw Brandenburg. They're gonna have like 16 of them there. I mean, it's entertaining, it's fun.
Those tractors on a really good track. It's like watching a class of mini rods on a really good track.
It is.
They're all over the place.
And tires, a good tire impacts that tractor almost like it does a mini rod,
Yeah, I'm over here going, man, it'd be really cool to see some Mitos's on some light supers. I don't think anybody. I think maybe Blackburn's tried it, but there's just too much tire for the weight, and put it all in the front and hope you can keep the front end down.
Yeah. So Tyler, as we get ready to bring Joe on here shortly, you all pulled at noon tomorrow, I believe.
Yes.
And then
that is correct. Actually, the pull starts at 11 a.m. tomorrow.
11 a.m. So take us through what it kind of looks like. People see you're at Goshen, Evansville, Altamont, but it's not that close of a drive. So how does your routine go, to make that whole swing?
I think our plan is we're going to obviously wake up, we're going to pull here, we're going to load up right away. The pull will probably still be going on depending on our class order. Obviously, we'll watch our whole class, of course. But then we are going to hit the road. And I think we're going to convoy it with Mr. Jeff Hurt. I think the pull is about 5 hours away, I believe.
Yep.
We see Todd Morris checking in, calling it Hell Week, and that's what all the pullers are referring to it as. And we as mini rod pullers think we have it bad. But you've got people like Jeff Hurt. Granted, the pull got rained out last night, but he was supposed to run his unlimited super last night. While we were on this podcast, he ran his unlimited super tonight. And then tomorrow he's got to run his mini rod. And then the next day he's got to run his 2 mini rods. And then the next day he's got to run his 2 mini rods. I mean, that's why they call it Hell Week like that. But I mean,
and not on top of that, you're traveling hours upon end to get places.
So we've got a full spare motor in the trailer. We packed a full complete cylinder head, loaded up with springs and valves, head gaskets. We got a box of pistons, a box of sleeves, a box of rods, valves. We bought our sleeve pull. I mean, we just loaded the trailer for bear, and we can mess up a lot of stuff, and we're going to make all 3 events. Knock on wood.
Let me ask you this. Do you carry many driveline parts? Because I'll share this story. I mentioned I broke our rear end. But we carry a spare rear end and evaluated it Friday night and saw that the rear end's broke. Well, we started taking it apart Saturday morning, and I broke an axle, which I've never broken an axle before, too. So we had to get creative and rob an axle out of my teammate's tractor and put it in mine, and get done and go throw it in his. So do you carry a lot of driveline parts?
We carry so much driveline parts. If I went into detail, my father would be mad because he doesn't want people coming and just grabbing all of our stuff. But if anybody knows my dad, he is a freaking pack rat, and he loads up on stuff. So put it this way, we even have a TIG welder in our trailer with the argon tanks. Adam used it at Tomah. And on top of that, we have a box in our trailer, a tote, and written on it with paint marker, it says chromoly drops, meaning just random pieces from the saw of chromoly, so that if we mess up our chassis that bad, we can go back there and rifle through our spare pieces of chromoly and cut a section of frame out and TIG weld it in and sleeve it and all that if need be.
Are you listening, Chase? Because we're not doing that in this camp.
We've got front motor plates without the front mount holes in it. So if the whole chassis gets tweaked, we can put on a new motor plate blank,
re-drill
line up the drive line in the back, drill the hole through, and run it. Spare oil
That's
tanks,
genius.
fuel tanks.
It really is genius.
It is smart.
And if you're going to get them water jetted out, if you're going to order 3 or 5, what is it to order another 4 or 6 and just eliminate a hole? $40. You got a whole front plate. You can really tweak a chassis, and if you got the whole front motor plate and you can just adjust that and drill that bitch in, that drive shaft's lining up. Shit can be off 3 inches.
Adam, I won't be at full recovery, but if my tractor gets to that point, just go there and tell them just to put in the trailer. don't rest all that.
So yeah, tell us a little bit about that. So you're not coming to Fort, right?
No, unfortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately not. It just is what it is. Brian and ourselves kind of team up or work with each other, however you want to call it. And we did.
Brian's gonna be really good if he's driving all those tractors like yours and his. Like he's gonna be dangerous.
Yeah, he's gonna be way better.
You guys are giving him too much seat time. He already won Saturday at Chapel Hill. Now you're going to run
over the points lead. Took over the points lead.
Yeah. Did he take over the points lead?
Yeah.
So Brian and I made a deal because we never knew what we were going to do this week because unfortunately two-wheel drives have Brandenburg. So we just said whoever does worse collectively in the mini rods will have to go to Brandenburg, and he got first and second, so I was screwed. So
yeah, that's pretty hard to beat, Chris.
No, but he'll do fine. We got a great team. And
is that your excuse for saying that you just like two-wheelers more than mini rods, or what?
I think he does.
Yeah.
I think he does. Chase is a big two-wheel drive guy.
If a two-wheel drive guy starts pumping their fist at 200 foot, you can't see them because they're in a cab most of the time. So
I got you.
It's a little less salt in the wound. So
hey, just so everybody knows, I'm not going to throw names out because it gets people upset.
No, don't do that to me, Adam.
But,
I don't have time for phone calls.
Somebody else backed into the sled twice.
Did you see the fist pound? Someone else fist pounded Saturday, and they ended up like sixth.
Oh no! Really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't see that. You got to make sure that you're going to win before you do it. I mean, you have to.
That's why I don't fist pound because one time I did, I got seventh. So.
Well, we're going to have to ask our man of the evening, Mr. Joe Eder, if he ever fist pumped and didn't end up getting the lead. Coming off of his 99th win last weekend in Chapel Hill, Mr. 8-time national champion. And above all that, he also owns some hot dog restaurants, I do believe. Ladies and gentlemen, none other than Mr. Joe Eder. Let's bring him in here. Look at that. There he is.
And little Joe.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi,
Hello.
buddy.
Yeah. Hey,
Look at you guys.
Little Joe, how old are you?
9.
Hey, do you have any earmuffs around there that your dad can keep nearby to put on your ears? Because
I run them. I run them quite a bit.
Okay, all right. No earmuffs needed. What a surprise, Little Joe, Big Joe. Give me a little quick intro. Little Joe, intro yourself. Tell the world who you are, and then intro the guy sitting to your right. Little Joe. Little Joe's got to do it.
Little Joe to do it.
Go ahead, buddy. Who are you? What's going on?
Dad. So Joe Eder. Joe Eder, and 9 years old from Western New York.
And how did you get into tractor pulling, Little Joe?
What?
How did you? Yeah. That guy.
Dad.
Tell us who that guy is.
My dad, Joe Eder. Same thing.
Tell us about him. Tell us all about him.
You're 52, right?
Yep.
52 years old from North Collins, New York.
When's his birthday?
December 3rd.
Nice. Joe, is that correct?
November 3rd.
Dang it.
That's pretty close. It's pretty close. You're only off by 1 month.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
1 month even.
Yeah.
Little Joe, what's your favorite thing about tractor pulling?
Seeing my dad pull and getting to hang out with everybody here.
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
So we told the viewers, and what a great surprise, Little Joe, Big Joe. Thanks for bringing him on. This is awesome. We like to show the full circle. I know we have fun and heckle, but guys like Little Joe was Adam, Tyler, myself at one time, and it's great to see the family camaraderie and just the many things that make this sport cool. So thanks for bringing Little Joe on. But we tipped him. Are you there at full recovery now? And kind of tell everyone kind of your routine and post Chapel Hill win Saturday night and where you are now, and looking forward to the next week or so. So kind of take us through it all.
Yeah, it was a long week. It was a late one at Chapel Hill, running late and all that. We'll get into that here in a little bit, what I think of that. But we're down here. We're doing maintenance early and got all the cleaning done. Now it's time to, start really getting after the motors, checking things over. And just we're pretty excited. We had a rough week. Threw a rod out of a motor there the first night and switched out a player and come back and win it. So that was definitely worth it. But it's just a late show, and we got home, and it takes a couple days to regroup from all that. But after a win, it keeps you pumped up a little bit. So we're
absolutely.
We're
For anybody that doesn't know, Joe's had a few mechanical issues this year, but what can't be ignored is the fact that you were at Tomah and you laid down a 390-foot pass, an absolute blazing pass down the track, monster pass, and you kind of got that taken away from you because they reset the sled. But that's pulling. You know it. We know it. It's frustrating at all ends, and I feel bad for you because I know with an unlimited, you can't hot lap these things. You need to get them back and check them out every run. But can you? Obviously, you have an opinion on some things, how the unlimited classes run. Run us through kind of how you think we need to operate the class, because it is a unique unicorn of a class.
Dive right into it.
The biggest thing is, I take the sport very, it's everything we do. It's everything I know. And I just, I respect Bowers and the sleds and the settings. Donnie Bowers, a good friend of mine. And, we talked and he said, I had no problem with him making that decision. It's tough. Griswold goes 322 before me. He might have been on the brake a little bit or whatever. We all get those bonsai runs. Week before that, David Richardson made a hell of a run at Minnesota and just made us all look funny. But, we all are professionals. We're good at this, and we all get that turn of the barrel, and we get some good runs. So that was my lucky night. Yeah, maybe I should have,
sandbagged a little bit, because I don't think anybody was going to touch that run.
No,
it was amazing.
It probably wasn't, but it's just one of them things, and I just just made it clear that we are paying attention and just make sure that everybody knows to play the game square and fair, and we'll all be all right. But it's just part of it, but for the most part, it's tough. How do you gauge? The mini rods, I would say, would be a little bit easier. They're all so compatible, and everything's the same. But these things,
a lot less to check out in between runs. If you're going down there and you drop it or you get the sled changed, it's a lot less. Maybe the tires are the only thing you really have to worry about. On a modified, you have the tires, the driveline, 4 engines, so much stuff to look over in a short amount of time, when there's really not that many tractors that are running. So you have to do it in a timely fashion.
Yeah,
so it makes it very difficult.
Right. And again, and my deal is I'm always trying to make the sport look good and professional. We got to sell this as a marketable sport. And I think it's important that TV, that would be awesome for TV. That was probably a 36, 37 mile per hour run. And, now we get cut back to 309, 308. And, and that was cool because we all ended up within, I think 5 inches or whatever and a half inch from Adam Bauer. And, so that was cool, competitive, but to watch it on TV, it probably looked like paint to dry. It was a slow dry.
The fans went nuts when you went 390. I mean, you were parked next to a grader tractor that was going.
Right.
I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah.
People went nuts.
That being said, Joe, are you a fan of the long distance pulling tracks where you have your winners at 350, 360, 370?
Yeah, for sure. I this thing loves, good runs. I mean, honestly, I would have to say our whole unlimited class, if we can get them all out and get them running, everybody's got a motor combination that does, certain things on certain types of conditions. And this old sow likes to get out and run. So if you can exercise her and get her up to speed, she'll usually finish okay,
I like the long wins too.
Oh,
Right.
So
I like it. So theoretically, it puts on a better show the longer the track we get, right? And I agree with that in all fairness. Where do you think the cap of that would be? Like, would a 450-foot first place look even better? Would a 500-foot first place look even better?
500.
No, I like the, I would honestly say if the sled guys could keep us all around, 350 to 375, and and you get them bonsai runs where we could get out and get in the 390s or something. But it's just one of them things where it's tough. It's Donnie Bauer told me on the sled. I said track's pretty good. He said, yeah, you guys are getting a hold of it. He said, I'm not. And right there, I knew just how to drive. And I've been in the seat a long time, and I just the minute I felt the thing take off, I knew we were on a run. So
yeah, the guy puts a master class on. If you want to watch driving at its best, check out the throttle control from Joe Eder. He will keep the tires in the track better than any driver that I've ever really seen. I mean, you're phenomenal, Joe, at it. You really are. You've done a great job.
That.
Yeah.
Can you kind of take us back? You've been mod pulling a long time, in all the years. Can you kind of start us out? Like, where did this all start at?
87, we started out with a single engine Economod, big block Chevrolet automatic transmission, 24-inch tires. And I remember we ran C14 or VP C14 fuel. And, I had no idea how much fuel it took. I never asked. And I remember I got 35 gallon of racing, fuel. I had to almost take a loan out for this at the time. And when I got all done with the first run, went 218 feet and, it was real competitive. And I think the thing used just under a quart, so it, but yeah, so, we've had an interesting career. We went to I went to Indy Super Bowl that year and watched, and I seen the Walsh brothers, and it's like, man, that's cool. I'm going to come home, put another motor on. So I put another natural aspirated motor on, and we pulled that summer with Empire State or New York State or whatever back home. And I remember we got invited to, just talked about the other day with Dan Mayer at Chapel Hill. We went to Erie, Pennsylvania to an indoor pull, and we were running against the light modifieds. They're all twin engine blowing mods with Allisons and all that. And, it was a cool deal. And I went out there and I just watched them guys. They just hammered off the line, picked the sled up and just go, And so I went out with these two carbureted engines, and I hit the throttle and 6 feet 1 inch. So
6 feet 1 inch.
Yeah, buried it right to the wheelie bars. I mean, it was embarrassing. Couldn't even move the sled. But we were in a school bus back then. It's back when you had to ride in a school bus. And we're in Erie, Pennsylvania, walking through the city with pillows and in a sleeping bag, and I mean, just basically just like a carny, but we showered, So
right.
It's, awesome. But yeah. But we had
you heard it here first. Joe Eder says carnies don't shower.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So you get through that. You get to the 2-engine mod. When does it go? Okay, we got to go blown here. We got to start adding some stuff.
So Freddie Freeman had a tractor many years ago that a guy back home in Western New York bought. And, I ended up with that tractor, and that was pretty cool.
Was that the Mean Mistreater? The one that...
that wouldn't have been the Engler chassis. It would have been an old wedge frame that he had, but it had two Chevrolets and one up. And but I ran it, I think 3 years. And then I had Tim Engler build a nice tractor where we could run 3, 4, and 5. And that's how it all started. And again, since we're getting close on this 100-win thing, we're starting to look at a lot of the history and where did it all start. So we looked at, I believe it was Pontiac Silverdome, U.S. SRO Pace, I believe, is where I ran with them guys. And I was actually somewhat competitive, like some cool names. This is going to be history. We had the Walsh brothers, John Heilman, Pat Friels, John Powell, just
The
amazing
who's
guys.
who.
Sure.
And Freddie Freeman and all that. And Paul Norman and I mean, you could pretty much just lay $1 on who could win that night. I mean, he was awesome, and I started to get pretty decent at it, But again, we were hauling this tractor around the 68 Chevy school bus. We were up in New Haven, Connecticut, and I remember it was like 28 degrees below zero. It was crazy. And after the show, I believe it was Richie Schaefer said, pull that thing down inside the arena. And we stayed inside the bus, inside the arena, and did our maintenance on the tractor and slept in the old bus and showered in the hockey rink thing there. And I mean, it just, you look back on all that stuff, and now how we are in our big fancy haulers and all that. So it's been quite a deal. But, so I think we picked up our very first win there. And then I remember with NTPA, it would have been, like with Ralph Banner. See, when the Banner brothers quit, Ralph went on the road with me for 3 years, and that was basically a military camp. I mean, pulling's fun, but boy, that boy put you through it, and that's why I think it made me what I am, because, there's times I would win a pull, we'd be on the way home, and he wouldn't talk to me for an hour and a half, and I said, what's our problem here? He said, you didn't finish on that right sideline like I asked you, and it's like, when I tell you we're running that right sideline, you're going to hold it there. And I mean, I'll tell you what, it was quite a deal. So had a lot of fun, all your fathers, all you guys are sitting there. It's amazing. I'm looking at you guys, and it's like, I'm beyond proud of you guys to carry on what your dads did. I learned so much from all your dads, and now I'm looking at you guys, and it's like, man, this is so cool, and I'm starting to wonder, like, damn, I'm 52. I'm like, it's getting not scary, but I just, like, I'm starting to go, like, not over the hill, but we're getting up there, but we're going to keep going.
So with that being said,
52 years old, dude, and you've done so much. You're so
Yeah, but I've had so much, good help, it's, I never forget my roots, and everybody's cool and never really had a problem. You just gotta treat people with respect. And like I said, any of you guys have problems, I'll be there to help you. And this sow lays down, I might need a hand someday.
For sure.
So,
Little Joe, question for you.
Yeah.
Do you want to pull something one day?
Depending on how the sport goes, if it gets too dangerous, maybe not. But if it keeps on a good level and everything's kind of how it is now, maybe a little better, a little worse is okay, but depending on how that goes.
What class are you most interested in pulling?
I'm not very sure at that just yet. I'm not a two-wheel drive. I know that.
we'll leave that to Chase.
That would be pretty cool, though, because you can push it around yourself.
Right.
Probably.
Yeah.
I hear Joe trying to talk Little Joe into a mini rod there. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Well, it fits pretty good in the trailer. I mean, you did have a mini before, and it fits in the trailer with all the stuff, so why not?
Yeah. I finally got balls enough to do what Slaws did and moved up against my motors, and wow, that changes the world a lot. It's when I first hit the throttle at Minnesota, our very first pull, I told myself I'm probably gonna have to go to earplugs because I moved up 24 inches, dropped down 8, and it's pretty neat. And now it's just one big family you get to work with, and that baby's loud. And it's I don't wear earplugs, I got a good liner, and all that in my helmet, and I drive by sound and feel and everything. And but all I know is that it makes you close your eyes a little bit. So.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've never worn earplugs, and I feel like at this point, because I never have, it would be too much of a change to wear earplugs during a pass for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Hopefully they don't make any new rules, Joe, where you're kind of screwed after you run that for 5 years. That'd be a shame.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's one thing about what I'm deciding what I'm going to pull, depending on the rules, too.
The rules. They got
Yep, watch the rules. But
I like it.
No, so take us through a little bit. So you've amassed 99 wins. How many did you win in a row? Here, it's been a few years back, but how many wins?
I believe that was
that was the odd couple, right, Joe?
Yeah. Well, no, that was when I went from 2 Hemis and 2 Chevys and then we went into the all four, Chryslers, and but yeah, that was the start. I believe it was Tomah, and we went all the way through, and we ran some U.S. hot rod, and or no, gosh darn it,
ATPA.
PPL, Lucas Oil, and so we were back and forth with that, and then TPA. Anywhere we went, we could lay down a win with it. It was just one of them tractors that was so comfortable to drive. I had such a connection to it. It was unbelievable.
How many wins in a row was it?
21.
Wow.
That was national, event wins, so it was pretty cool against the guys, but I remember it was Friday night, Tomah, Wisconsin, backed up to the sled. Joe, you got to stay in your butt.
I'm grabbing my water.
And anyways, it was me, Steve Bollinger, and Doug Downs. We're in a pull-off. And, there's three of us out the gate, come back for a pull-off. And
Thank you.
I remember, at basically 75, 80 feet, wasn't getting cocky, but signed the check. It was just pick up and just go. It was one of them tractors. And all at once, I saw Elvis. The pinion come out between my legs, and the whole tractor, we crashed. I mean, when you get so used to a vehicle and it's so smooth and everything, and it throws such a harmonic into something like that majorly happens. I wasn't ready for it, and we crashed. But I had gonna do a confession here with our buddy Bill Leichner, and it's pretty cool. He'll laugh. But anyways, I was one of the very few to do a humped over end in a pulling tractor in a modified. And he asked me a couple times, "How the hell are you going so straight?" And I was just getting lucky, And well, anyways, he's a fox. He's a smart one, and he could read you. Well, anyways, I'm getting towed off the track that night, and I'm like, man, I'm going to load this thing up, go to Walsh Brothers. They're probably half hour down the road, change the rear end, because I just knew Bill would be over there and see this and wouldn't be very happy, But
right.
Anyways, it was such a mess and all that. Had to pull the axles, oil everywhere, mosquitoes as big as flies, And I just said, you know what? I said, I'm going to do it right here. And I remember I reached down in. I was strong back at the time. I could reach down and I grabbed that whole pig, and it was the steel one. So it weighed 270 pounds. And I just manhandled that thing, and I picked it up and I threw it over the fenders onto the ground. It was all junk. And everybody saw that billet aluminum center, And
oh yeah.
Yeah, so there it started,
The secret was out.
The secret's out. Yeah.
Joe, explain to people that don't know the context of how significant that was at the time. So, like, what was different about that rear end? Just, it's all out there in the open now. So,
like the spider gears, it's got double the teeth on a spider gear. So the more teeth you can have, it's the more contact, and the smoother it will turn, the easier it turns. And the thing is the brakes. We got to drive these things with brakes. At least I do. And it just, you can hold these things down to the ground with being really smooth and all that. So we're going from rear ends that were built at Rockwell or Eaton or, whoever. And now we got something, like Bill Humphrey and FCS and all these guys, Brad Corporal now are manufacturing them. But so it's really, it just changed the pulling big time. It took 3 and 4 and 5 engine tractors and finally made them go straight down the track, and Fort Recovery here can give us a little bit of a hook at the end, and I learned to conquer that with, these kind of rear ends and, and trying to hit it just right in that one corner,
So Joe, does it upset you a little bit when you come to Fort Recovery that they don't run the unlimiteds on the left-hand track?
It doesn't bother me. My second win in my career was here, and I know it was number 3, and but I love that left-hand track where it puts you a hook, because you can usually get half of them out of bounds or get them upset and get them in trouble, and and I usually, if everything works right, I can bring my bag of tricks to that side, but
right.
But no, the right sideline here has been a good one for me, and everybody, it's a fair track. It's a good one. So
for anybody that doesn't know, the reason why I brought that up, because I think it's one of the most historic tracks you have to beat the track. Not only the competitors, but anybody that's pulled down that track knows the left-hand track at Fort Recovery, it's going to pull you left. It's just whether or not you can beat the track or not.
Right.
And I think to me that's a very interesting track out there. It's like Tomah, you know,
Yep.
they crown the track so they kind of go each way, and it's kind of you got
Right.
to struggle. But Fort Recovery, with the history behind it, it's a
Yeah.
very cool event.
Yeah, it is. It's a good time here, and I'm really, you know, looking forward to it. And you know, I'd like to, you know, just if we can hit that 100, it'd be cool.
That would
do
be
it.
neat. Absolutely.
It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, Joe.
Absolutely.
For sure.
So tell us a little bit. You've kind of ventured out, and you start out in Crystal Island. You got you a hot dog stand or restaurant. Can you? What led you into wanting to get a Coney Island?
Just ate there as a kid. There's always been one in our little town in Brooksville, Florida, and I was very fortunate enough to be able to, you know, go and sit with the owner there one day, and you know, he told me it's a pretty nice little business, a little gig, and I wasn't looking for anything extra. I got plenty to do, and you know, but he said we manage them and we handle them for, you know, people, and you know, we've done restaurants our whole life. So I said, yeah. I said maybe we'll get involved, and literally the next day I called him back and said we'll go for it. So we built one in Crystal River, and we're in where are we? We're Largo, that's down below Tampa, and then we got one in Bushnell and Wildwood, which surrounds the villages. That's a real nice location. And this winter I built one up in Eustis, and I'm partnered on that one there with Josh Hart, the R&L Carriers Top Fuel Dragster, and Chris Armstrong, a house builder out of Florida, a good friend of mine. So it's been a pretty cool deal. So, and again, John Lee is our manager and his family, and they just do a great job. So it's been a good gig, you know, like I'm sitting here and, you know, thinking about parts and sharpening tires, and, you know, I'm already got my mind going. We're rolling into this deal and getting excited, you know, it's race time, you know, and then I'm also thinking about equipment for the restaurant and all that. And, you know, so it keeps your mind really blown away. You know, you got everything going on. So
Why are you thinking about sharpening tires? Just did it.
just got done.
Hey, that's good. You must have got your shower got all cleaned up. Usually I've
Yep.
seen you and rubber all over your face and everything.
That's right.
But you talked
Power
about
wash?
you're worrying about the equipment. Tell us a little about the Crystal River location with all the Joe Eder memorabilia that's there. Talk a little bit about the tractor that's sitting outside with the
I just
the
wanted
tractor
to make
and the
that
stuff inside also.
Yeah, I wanted to personalize that one and make it, you know, follow my racing thing, you know. So I took a complete Hemi engine, just parts. It's Bob Jostock helped me gather up a whole pile of parts, and it was pretty cool to go in there and you sit at this glass table. There's 8 bar stools around it, and you can eat your lunch over top of this engine. And you know, 57 Chevy on one end, there's a 49 Chevrolet on the other end, and so it's pretty cool, you know. And just pistons and rods and stuff, and you know.
Do you have is it an M or an H Farmall that's sitting outside with a engine in it?
That's a little Massey. I believe that's.
Or Massey Harris. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yep, and that's got a. I don't know. It's got a blower on it with a Benny injector on it and stuff. So that's pretty cool, you know. But it just it's fun for people to come, and you know, we're pretty excited. We got a Starbucks going in next to us, and on the whole back of my restaurant, I'm going to say, enjoy your coffee, stop over for a foot long, you know. So
that's
it's a lot of marketable stuff involved, you know. But yeah, but it's really cool. Crystal River's pretty, very nice. It's a very expensive city, you know, with the people and stuff. You know, they just did a really nice job cleaning it up. It's home of the manatees, and there's about 900,000 people that come to the city every year to visit and swim with the manatees. Wow. So I chose to build there for that reason.
That's awesome.
Now, did you spend a lot of time in Florida before that as well?
Yeah, you know, every year I go down for probably 2 months in the winter, and I got a house down there just outside of Crystal River, and you know, so that works nice to go down and, you know, relax and kind of back and forth and all that. You know, it's and then I just said, you know, I got to get something down here to do. So I built the museum last year. I got, I believe there's 11 Chevrolets in there of different kinds, and there's some blower motors. It's pretty cool. I got one of John Powell's motors off a Rolling Thunder in there, complete engine. And, the last time it was run was at Bowling Green. It's a complete, Hemi blower motor. So, but, I like projects, and I don't know, I just like, I like stuff. So here we are.
So when you're not, I'm sorry, Tyler. So when you're not in Florida hanging out and doing whatever, can you kind of run us through what your operation consists of at home? I know you're in the mulch business, but what all do you really do at home in North Collins, New York?
I got a mulch business. We do about 60,000 yards of mulch a year. We process and supply landscapers and stuff and nurseries. And then we have we farm about 900 acres of soybeans and do that. And then honestly, I pretty much just stay involved with the tractor here. It's definitely a full-time job. This summertime here, we're kind of trying to keep everything running and being on the road here. So this 3 weeks here is a big test for all of us. And that's why I'm here a day early, just to try to get ahead of this thing a little bit.
Right on.
So how does one just decide I'm going to start making mulch? We heard how the restaurant started. Tell us how the mulch started.
I lived on a family sawmill my entire life, and one day I just we had a pile of big mulch out there, bark, and I just said, I wonder if that'd be a business a guy could get involved with, and I went and talked to a nursery, and we use that around shrubs, and I don't know, it's 14 years later or something, and it's turned into quite a business. It's you work hard, you run pretty hard. I was in the truck at 5:30 this morning, delivering loads and stuff, and then I jumped in the pickup and drove 6.5 hours to here and sharpen tires. So that's here we are.
So you got black dye at home on the mulch, and then you got black rubber stained all over your face and red and tires.
Yes.
Need toss rubber.
Yep, black mulch matters. Always remember that.
Don't worry, he just took a shower.
Awesome. That is so cool.
Yep.
So do you guys start with a whole doggone trunk of a tree, and that's what you're putting in your shredded? Do you buy it shredded, then you dye it? How does that work?
Can I explain it?
Hang on. We got we buy everything from a sawmill. It's hardwood bark mulch. It comes off of the barkers, so it's a really nice, clean product. It's all hardwood. We don't like to grind up the trees, the shrubs, the garbage, the city waste, because it's everything. And you put a beautiful flower bed down, and then you got a little willow tree sprout growing out in 3 weeks. So that's the garbage stuff. We try to our hardwood bark mulch is premium stuff. So, and then we got a black dye that we use to color it, and I got one of them 1,050 horse V12 cats that sit there that eats about 48 gallon of fuel an hour. It's just the most beautiful sounding engine in the world. And twin turbos, life is great. And I sit there and feed that thing, and eats about 400 yards an hour, and just keep on rolling, making mulch.
Twin turbo mulcher.
Yeah, V12.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. That thing, when you start it, when it's like 20 degrees out, it pops, it bangs, it smoke rings. It's like a pro stock. Just it's awesome. It's beautiful.
That's cool.
I'm not right. I love horsepower. So
we can tell.
How much horsepower is that mulcher putting down, Joe?
It's 1,050. It's a 3412 Caterpillar, and
very cool. Have you considered souping it up?
No, it uses too much diesel fuel.
You're not going to use it. You're not going to put any Weimer turbos on it or anything.
Yeah,
maybe
right.
A new pump. Try to get
the first 8 hours is cool, and then you realize the big tank on the side that holds 450 gallon is empty, and then it's time to start putting fuel on it, and it's like, oh, wait a minute. So, but yeah, the thing will put a lot of money.
Keep that one factory for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So are there? You're obviously into anything and everything. As you talked, you've built chassis. You got the mulch business. You farm. You got the hot dog. Is there anything that's on the horizon for Joe Eder in the future?
I'm trying to look at different ways of trying to slow down and maybe get little Joe here involved. He's gonna be the president here of the company here eventually, and I just gotta, slowly just I got to have it so he don't have to work this hard. I'm not saying I'm not lazy, but boy, I can tell you when you get close to 100 hours a week with no problem, in the busy season it gets hard, and then we're trying to race and it, it's hard on you, it wears you down quick. But
you're not 35 years old anymore.
I can see that. But nothing makes me more exciting than to go out and shake everybody's hand and, wish everybody good luck and, who's going to win this thing, or just I want everybody to go out and make good runs and make good passes. It's a really thrilling thing to work hard all week and then get out and jump on my hot rod and, run against the best in the country. It's just a really cool deal.
That's really cool. I see that the tractor behind you's got Emax on it. I've bought a few air compressors from the bipolar or the Polar Air Company. Can you kind of run us through your little relationship with them and what it's meant to you to have them on your tractor?
Matt Kane's a really nice guy. He started this business in 76, 77, and it's a family-owned business, and they started building air compressors, and now, they just added on another monster building, and, they build screw compressors and about every kind of air compressor you can use, and they're, selling them to, Home Depot selling them for them, and Tractor Supply and stuff. So they got a really nice, good marketing thing there, and we're basically on board just to help advertise for them, and we sell a few compressors every year for them and stuff. So it's pretty cool. It's all American built air compressor, and they're very proud of it, and they got a great service center there. If there's any trouble at all, you can go back in and they'll take care of it for you. So it's been a good company,
Yeah, I've seen they've been with you for a few years here. I mean, it means a lot. I mean, you've carried a lot of banners over the year. You have Geico. I mean, these are big things. So it's really cool to see those companies on your tractor.
Yeah, and I've always, John Force many years ago, he would make it bigger than it is, and I always feel that's the same thing for the spectators in the crowd. They see Geico or they see, a corporate sponsored tractor, and it's just important that they need to know that it's a professional sport, and we're just trying to, market our little products and make things look good, and maybe somebody will buy something, and at the same time, you just it's all about everybody coming together. They pay our bills to come in and keep these promoters going and all that. So I think it's important. I wanted to touch on one thing here. Chapel Hill, we run these unlimiteds, I believe, at like 12:30 in the morning, and it's hard. I know we had a rain delay and all that, but people are gonna like me for it. People ain't gonna. I talked to Ned Wallace there this morning, and I said it's important that we run these tractors probably second or third class out by 10 o'clock at every show, so that the fans that come, they can see a mini rod, a pro stock, a pro farm, anywhere in the world, anywhere, any county fair, 6 miles from here, Friday night or Thursday night, they'll see something else run. You can't see these unlimited run, but only about 7 or 8 different venues a year. So I think it's important, that these things are put out at a decent time so that the fans can see them. What do you think, Chase, on your opinion, you being an unlimited guy?
Yeah, I think everyone in that class would be jumping up and down behind you to do the same. Just not even that, like from a track standpoint, sometimes it gets the later in Chapel is a good track, but the later it is in the show, I think it takes away at times too, from a track standpoint. Everyone being able to make the best possible pass they can. Every venue and every track is different, but yeah, I think unlimiteds are, I think when you're put on an event, you have strategies of what you need to do, but I think somewhere in the middle of a show is probably appropriate, honestly, where everyone can see them. And as you said, they're the most marvelous pieces of equipment out there, in my opinion, and you can only go to any place in the world to see them. So I would agree with you. And I think you probably have the entire class behind you and probably echoing that same thing that you said.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you look at it a couple of years ago, they ran the Unlimiteds first at Bowling Green. I mean, when you go to an NHRA show, they're not running anything else but fuel at the get-go. And
Yes.
it's an attention grabber. I mean,
For sure.
Yeah.
and plus, you know, it's really neat for it. Here's my opinion on the whole deal, Joe, and you could probably attest for this. A lot of people come from a lot of places to watch these pulls. And let's face it, anything after 9 o'clock, people got to
Right.
get their kids to bed.
Yeah.
And if they've traveled from an hour somewhere, they're going to, it doesn't matter what class is coming up. They got to get their kids to bed.
Right.
So
Yeah.
if they come there to watch the Unlimiteds and they're not running until 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, I think it really takes away from what the fan gets to experience, especially with
Right.
classes like that.
Yeah.
It is an
Middle of the
amazing
day.
class.
I think
just-
I think Billy Beers would agree with you as well, Joe Eder. He kind of talked about that pretty passionately. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to that one or not.
I remember him kicking in last year and talking about that. So yeah. But
Joe,
no,
what's your, you know, the unlimited class? You know, obviously it's not cheap to run these vehicles at all. What would you, if you had to give like a state of the union for the unlimited class? Like, you know, we mentioned, I believe there's been 4 different winners and the 4 different hooks. I might be wrong on that, but it's been pretty tight and it's competitive. But it's also a class you worry about, you know, long term. You know, keeping people in it involved because it does cost so much to run these things. So, like, what's your overall, you know, state of the union now and futuristic outlook on that class to keep it alive? Because it, like it or don't like it, when you're selling a sport tractor pulling unlimited, it's probably the first thing you talk about.
Right.
Oh.
It's I would say, you know, I mean, these things are $6,000 a run right now to make a pass. You know, and that's not throwing any rods on the ground. So, you know, and engine, Adam, you're an engine builder. You totally agree. I mean, pistons and rods times 4. You know, it's 90-some
Adds
thousand
up
bucks,
fast.
90 grand, and insurance on the hauler and all that. You divide that by, you know, X amount of hooks, and there's your tally. You know, so, but yeah, I'm concerned. You know, like, I mean. I just at that kind of money, you know, I'm just really worried what the future is, you know, and you know, I don't think there could be any more mini rods and any more 2-wheelers, and you know, it's an awesome classes, you know, you guys are in, and I was in the mini myself and love it, but you know, this unlimited class for the future, you know, the Bill Voorhees and those kind of guys, you know, come and gone, and you know, they're superheroes, you know, and you know, I hope, Chase, that you can carry this on for your dad eventually, you know. You know, it just, you know, Bruce Law, you know, he was in it, and it just, and now you guys are awesome at mini rods, you know. So
yeah, Bruce wants another unlimited badly, but I want nothing to do with it.
yeah,
it's just so much work.
Oh, yeah.
I respect everybody that does it. I love watching them.
Yeah.
I say to people, they're like zoo animals. I want to watch one. I don't want to own one.
Yeah, right.
They're awesome. It's as cool as it gets. It's not that I don't like the class. I absolutely love it. But the amount of work, and I don't got to tell Joe or Chase, and Adam's a motor guy. I mean, just seriously to have 4 engines. And I mean, with these tractors, it's not if you're going to break driveline. It is when. That is how hard we're pushing them. And with the Mitas tires coming out, putting that power to the ground so much better, putting all that driveline under stress. And now when you break driveline, you've got 4 or 5 engines that you're going to tear down. I don't know. Like we had
On top of the driveline that you have to fix.
top of the driveline, yeah. Like we
Maybe
had
the
it that
chassis,
1 year.
you don't know. You drop 1/2 track on a driveline,
Yeah.
you might be replacing motor mounts, bending stuff. I mean, that's a lot of weight.
For sure. We had it the 1 year where we built a fuel tank wrong in Tomah, and the front 4 motors all detonated
I remember that.
on Friday.
Yeah.
And we spent all day Saturday rebuilding the front 4 engines to the point where we were picking pistons out of the junk pile by the 4th one, saying, well, that wasn't good enough on the 1st or 2nd or 3rd motor, but this is looking pretty good for the 4th one. So that's what you're jamming down in the sleeve. Which,
And then you
by the
still
way,
have
that means you got to pull it all apart when you get home.
Yeah, you still got to go home and tear it apart.
Yeah, like I respect the guys that run those so much, but to try to be a part of that, I mean, it's like Joe said, the amount of work is just crazy.
I mean, I got 9/16 wrenches that are just about round already, and we just got started here a month ago. So
Right.
but I mean,
So, what do you think, Joe, in the unlimited class? If you were gonna, you said $6,000 to break even per run. What should the unlimiteds be paying to win?
it's tough. I mean, it'd be nice, 10, 15,000, 12.5, to win.
Right.
You guys
Yeah,
get sprint once in a while with that Bowling Green thing. It's kind of cool. They put that spin wheel out there and 10 grand.
And
to
it
win.
lands on mini rod every year.
Right. Yeah. That's why I say
Yeah,
that, So,
We've got it weighted for sure. We've got little lead
Right.
weights glued,
Okay.
180
That's okay.
degrees
I
off.
love your
from the-
class.
Yeah, but you know what? I thought of it this way, and maybe it's the wrong way to go out of it. But if somebody wins the 10,000, maybe you just take that class off the list and spread the
I'd be
wealth.
down for that,
I
That'd
think
be
it
nice.
would be fair.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Then you
Tyler.
move the weight. Move
Hey,
the
little
weight.
Joe, we're gonna need some help from you here.
Yes.
Maybe
Yes.
Tyler's got some questions that both of you
I
can
do.
answer in a quick
I've-
fashion
I've
with
got-
our
I'm
new.
not sure if you're familiar with the show, Joe, but we do a little rapid fire round segment. And the key to this segment is you got to answer, and you got to answer quick, but it does not have to be the correct answer. We won't judge you on it. We don't need an explanation.
I'm
Um,
terrible.
It's usually about a dozen questions. So are you ready,
Okay.
sir?
I guess.
All right. If you could
Yeah.
choose one superpower, what would it be?
Not sure.
Joe, what do you think? Big Joe.
Superpower. What do you mean? Help me here.
Anything.
You want to?
You can.
Would you
fly,
like to
can read
fly?
minds, you're
Walk on
invisible.
water. Walk on
Invisible.
water.
I would definitely do the fly thing. I would rather just, quick to Florida, back to New York, go to
Yep,
LA,
I get
whatever.
that. I get that.
Teleport.
Okay. If you
Little
could
Joe.
choose, little Joe, what do you think? What's your superpower? Are you flying?
Teleport.
Teleport. I like it. That's better than flying, Joe. Big Joe,
Yes.
just so you know. If you could choose any exotic animal from the zoo as a pet, what would it be?
I got this. An elephant shrew.
I'll go with
Big
the zebra.
Joe, what do you think?
I'll go with the
Zebra?
zebra.
Zebra.
Okay. How many dimples are on the average golf ball?
360.
Big Joe?
708.
Little Joe's closest. The answer is 336.
Dang it,
What
I've heard of it.
unlimited-
100.
What unlimited mod puller could you easiest beat in a game of horseshoes?
Billy Beers.
Dad. I can beat my dad straight off the bat.
If you had to eat just one thing from your restaurant for an entire year straight, what would it be?
Ice cubes.
Ice cubes. Little Joe, what do you think?
Wasn't expecting-
Actually,
Sorry.
ice cubes are one of my favorite foods, but I'd go with the black pepper because I love black pepper.
I like it. If you had to pick one puller to participate in the upcoming Olympic Games, what puller would you pick and what would they participate in?
Not with my dad. Don't pick my dad.
I'd take Chase Richardson. He's in
Chase
shape.
Richardson.
He can go about it. Yeah, hell yeah. Look at him.
What's he doing? What game?
What's the game?
I'd take him in basketball. Let him go out and represent us in basketball.
There we go.
Absolutely. It's a good move.
Yeah, that would be painful.
Would you rather eat an entire watermelon with the rind or a dozen bananas with the peel?
Ooh.
I'd eat the dozen bananas because I actually like the peels.
Really? You eat banana peels?
I eat about half the peels.
About half. Yeah, that's fair. Joe, what about you?
I'll go with the watermelon.
You're going melons. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
What would you rather make a pass in the NHRA? A top fuel car or an NHRA Pro Mod?
I'd take the pro mod and then at maybe 25 feet immediately shut her down, just coast to the end.
That's a smart guy right there.
Yeah.
Big Joe, what do you think?
I'd do a funny car. I'd do a
Yeah.
Mad Hagen thing. They say I'm a Mad Hagen, but whatever. So
Right
Okay.
on.
If you had to trade pulling vehicles for one night with anybody in the pulling world, who would it be?
I'd go with I like David Richardson's Strats. I really love them motors. I think they're really cool.
Okay.
I wish I
What
could
do you-
answer.
Well, you can answer too, little Joe. What would it be?
If I had to try one,
Yep.
does it have to be unlimited?
Nope.
No,
anything.
any class.
I'd go with Mary Kale.
Okay.
Oh,
Mini Rod,
Mini
Joe.
Rod.
Yeah,
Pay attention, Big Joe. He's going Mini Rod.
he's
What do you-
convinced at you, Joe.
What do you think it would be easier to win a fight with? 200 lobsters or 200 squirrels?
Ooh. Oh man, I'd go with the lobsters.
Yeah. Little Joe, what do you think? Lobsters?
Slow.
All right.
Lobster.
Mr. In an old school monster garage style build off, what 2 present day pullers would you choose to be on your team to build a pulling vehicle in a junkyard?
Oh, I got this.
Go ahead.
I'd take Brad Corporal with me, and hell, Adam, you want to go? You can build the motors.
I'll be right there, with you, brother.
Sounds
Yeah,
like
Joe,
I'd say Adam Kester and Joe Eder.
Yeah.
There we go.
there you go. Good option.
Not me, him.
And finally, and most important, who would make a better batch of homemade cookies, Brad Benedict or Wayne Purser?
Oh, jeez. I would have to go with Wayne Purser.
I can see it. Little Joe, what do you think?
Wayne.
Yeah.
Wayne Purser.
Wayne.
Guys,
Yeah.
that's it. You did great. I think we're going to have to get
Well
Wayne
done.
to make us some cookies sometime for sure.
well done. Good job, little Joe, Big Joe.
That was awesome.
The best
And for
segment
the
of the show.
Olympics, I didn't. For the Olympics, I'd probably pick. I'd pick Dad with Joe Eder for maybe discus.
I was gonna say
Discus.
this guy can
Is he
hook
good
some
at throwing
stuff.
things? Yeah. Joe, let's get a hand comparison to your son's head for size comparison.
Head. Dad, go
That-
ahead.
Look at those. This guy's
Look
got
at
a
that.
mitt. I mean, I thought my dad had big hands
Yeah,
until you grabbed
bring it
Joe
Yeah,
Eder's
bring
hands.
it up,
This man's
bring
got
it
some
up.
meat
Yeah.
hooks on him. Look at that.
Look at that thing.
Your dad, is so cool. Friday night there at Chapel Hill, I made a hell of a pass that night, and he was there in his wheelchair watching us, and it was unbelievable. I just remember it, and he come over and slapped me and kind of hugged me, and he said, "You're a driving son of a bitch," And I just I made one of them good runs, and it was just
Right.
wow, I just
Yeah.
remember that. But man, his hands,
were
with the
big.
wheelchair, yeah, but it's
Calloused,
cool,
big, callous, rough. I mean, and when
Yeah.
he grabbed a hold of you, you knew he had a hold of you.
Right. Yeah. So, but no, that's cool. But guys, I really appreciate this. It's really neat. You're making the sport go forward, and it's just really cool to have you guys do this kind of stuff for us.
It's an honor to have you on our show, Joe. We always
For sure.
talk about who we want on, and obviously we started with nobody watching, and we have quite the audience now. So you coming off your win Saturday at Chapel Hill was a no-brainer to get you on here, because we obviously wanted you on here a number of times, but we wanted to wait till we got to a certain level. So we're at the Joe Eder level now. So Joe,
boy.
Everybody Yep.
take us through the season so far. You coming off a win. Adam mentioned the run at Tomah. It probably should have been a win with no sled change. I'd say nobody was touching that. Just kind of, the turn of events from start to finish and to this point, and then kind of the rest of the season outlook. It seems like a highly competitive class at this point.
It's really competitive. I mean, all you guys, there's not one slouch in the class, and it's exciting. It's going to be track position. Numbers going to play a little effect here at Fort, can get us a little bit. We can get on the wrong side of the number sometimes at this place, but this track will play us pretty fair. Bowling Green's the one I always worry about. That one there can, early number, late number, whatever. But, just everybody's running good, and it's going to come down to consistency. And unfortunately, we're going to have to wick them up to be up in that area, and it just, have to keep going, to see how it finishes out, So I'm excited.
Joe,
I'm ready.
Make your bold prediction. When are we going to see win number 100?
I don't know. That's
Come on.
I'll give one.
Yep. Let's hear it, little Joe. Call it.
Either either the second one of Fort Recovery or the second one of Bowling Green.
You heard it here first, guys. Today, it's the second day hooks where Big Joe shines for sure. Joe, I have a question I like to ask everybody. Obviously, you always want to win. That's a given, and everybody respects their competitors. We understand that. But it's always a little bit sweeter if you get to take that win away from a special somebody. So let's say it's Saturday night at Bowling Green, your last hook in the class. If you're going to lay a pass down there and take the win from somebody, who does it taste a little bit sweeter coming from?
Oh, Jesus. You have to do this. you guys sit there. No practice bullshit. You guys sit there. I love it. You guys are awesome.
This is what people want to hear, Joe. This is what they want to hear.
Oh, yeah, of course they do. Right. You want to see me arm wrestle? That's all it's coming down to. You want to see?
I don't think you want to arm wrestle.
Big guns. Yeah, big guns.
I don't know. You know it. God, that's a hard question. I just, who do you want to beat out there? That's
little Joe. Who does Dad want to beat the hardest?
I'm out of this conversation.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah, we never. That's one thing I've always made sure to make sure I have respect for all my competitors and all that. And if somebody can't get in gear and we're in a pull off, and it's happened many times, I'm over there and I'm doing whatever I can. Adam Bauer many times, the poor guy can't get in gear and everybody's running around and so I don't know. That's a hard question, but I
just say pass.
Yeah. Right.
That's a Chase question. He usually ignores them. No big deal. So let's move past that question, maybe to the most
important question. The tables are turning.
And the whole reason this show exists. Mm-hmm. If Joe Eder is in charge of pulling, this is PPL, NTPA, whatever. If you're the president, you're the Ned Walliser of WPI. What is the first thing that you do to change the sport to make it better?
Well, I just the marketing area, I think we need to work on that. We got to get a internet service out there that can a website that could just make it simple, for everybody to look at. And I think promotions, like one of these tractors need to be on display at a local, Casey's gas station up the road or something like that. Just I'm willing to every show to do whatever we can to promote this sport, and radio stations, you guys, whatever, just make it bigger and better, and get the fans in here and let them sit in the seat, let them take pictures, and again, run these things early. I know Chapel Hill, I'm sitting here thinking about it again, with 5 classes with all them vehicles. Would it hurt to start at 5 o'clock and try to get done at 10 instead of 7 and all that,
12?
It's
right.
So I'm just looking at the better for the sport. It just we got some really good venues out there. Promoters work their tails off, and as pullers, we bring a really nice show to the thing, and we got to get somebody out there marketing this thing. Really step on it. I don't want $100,000. I want $1,200 to win a class. I want $1,400 for 10th place. That's all I want. Just we all got to make a little, just a little fuel money, and and just we're also competitive. The mini rod class. I mean, what a great show the other night. Your last pass there, you did great, and
thank you, sir,
and all that. It just all that. It just we're all professionals. We got to make it look good, and I think we need to be rewarded for it. So there's a way they can do that marketing out there to get these, things out there, I think.
So RJ Simon has talked about it, and the Pullers Championship kind of tried a version of it where entry fee is more, but it all goes back to prize money. Every person through the gate, driver, wife of driver, children of driver, friends, family, everybody pays at the gate, but it all goes back to prize money. So basically it forces all the participants to kind of up that ante a little bit more. And I hear more and more rumblings, would that help? Would it not? You're throwing more money into it, and obviously all the competitors already are so heavily invested in it. Do you think that would help at all, or do you think that's not the answer?
I think I just think we got to do individual, sponsored classes. Whether it's a gear company or a Cali's Cranks or one of those to pick up the unlimited modifieds. Weisco Pistons to pick up, who knows, mini rods. And I think we just need to. I thought Lucas Oil did a good job of doing that. And they always had some pretty good money there for us. And I thought that was a pretty good thing they had. A good sponsored. Everybody had their own class. So.
Yeah, like you had the Geico sponsorship, like we mentioned earlier. Did you ever get to meet the talking gecko from the Geico commercials?
No, but I tell you what, I went to Talladega to represent Geico, and what an amazing time. I mean,
you pulled the tractor, or you took the tractor there and put it on display, correct?
Yeah, we put the tractor on display, and my John Deere Gator. We put 134 miles on the John Deere Gator, towing that thing. They told me, take that thing anywhere you want. It's like, no problem. So we took that thing in and out of the, that center strip down there is like 3/4 mile long. And it's unbelievable, the craziness down through there and the fun and games and hoot and holler and all that. But we took the tractor through tech. I mean, some guys loved it. Every turn of the racetrack, we were in and out. It was pretty neat. It was great, I think, for our sport, and we spent 6 days to do that, but we had a really good time, and it was good, and we almost had it where we were going to start the thing, for the driver introduction on Sunday morning there, and I really couldn't find anybody to help me start it. The guy had with me, I wouldn't recommend it, and we didn't want to be on national TV and have everything mess up, but it was pretty cool. It was a really great thing.
So, Joe, you've done about all. You've won all the big pulls. You've won championships. You've won so many in a row. You've done everything that you can think of in sport. You've traveled to Europe with your tractor and the mini rod.
Yep.
What's left? I mean, obviously another championship, more wins and all that stuff. But what is your unicorn? The pull that you haven't been able to win, or what are you still striving for besides the championships?
I haven't really thought of that. It's I just I remember back at 50 wins and then 75 and now the 100. And I saw John Force jump over a fence at 72 years old at 150 wins. And it's like, that ain't gonna be me. I go jumping into the crowd, it's gonna be rough.
He'll do it at age 56.
Yeah. So, no, I don't know. I'm just really thankful and blessed that
Is there a win that has eluded you? Is there something that you have not won, or have you've covered them all?
Yeah, I guess we kind of have.
With the 21, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
right.
I don't know. I guess I've been out there a while. I just remember it was cool. My first NTPA win was Tomah, Wisconsin, and they had an old rotary payphone down in the very bottom of the pit area there, next to the men's John. Noisier than hell. People were screaming and yelling, and I remember I called Ralph Banner Collect, and it was really cool. The operators, it was cool. The operator, Ralph Banner, would you take a collect call from Joe? And Ralph, yeah, I'll take that call. And it was cool, So here I am. I said, Ralph, yeah, Joe, I won the pull. And is that right? It was so cool. And
that's awesome.
Did you pay him back for the collect fee, Joe?
Yeah, many times.
You could have been like that one commercial once where they're like, yeah, it's Bob, had a baby, it's boy.
Yeah, that's right. But it was a cool thing, and then we came here to Fort Recovery. We won again here. And then after that, it kind of mellowed out. And then, I don't know, Ralph went on the road with me, and, we started winning quite a bit. And I think 1996 or 7, I think I won my first title there, So
97.
97.
I know
so.
that.
But you know, it's been a really good career, and it's been just awesome to have such great friends. All you guys, Marty Wilson helped me so much. My guys, Barney and Brian, all of us. You know, there's just it's just such a good team, and we just can't wait to compete. You know, and we look forward to everybody coming together every weekend.
Awesome.
Well said, Joe. Always good knowledge and information when you speak, and can't thank you enough for coming on the podcast, especially in the middle of a busiest time of the season. Right. As you're sitting there in full recovery, but you kind of alluded to it. Some of your support guys, but this is your. We're getting wrapped up here. We're starting to run out of light there, and I know I don't want to take away from the rest of your evening there in full recovery. Anyone that you want to make sure you call out or shout out that really helps you? I know you have. You said Marty and Barney, some of the guys there. Anyone else that you want to make sure that you give a shout to before we get signed off here?
Yeah, my family, Carl and little Joe, and just everybody's. Again, I got a lot of good supporters, and I make all the calls on this thing, and it's my hot rod, and it's all that. But them guys, I tell them do this, do that, and they're there. So it's and we really look forward to you guys and competing. It just we have so much fun with you guys. It's unbelievable. We're gonna hopefully get entertainment this weekend. Will be Billy Bears, and that'll change the whole light again. At Tomah or Bowling Green, I just can't wait to. Him and Tom LaRue get together, and it's unbelievable.
Sure.
How much. Yeah,
that Tom LaRue guy is wild. You got to watch him at Tomah.
He might be at my my house here next week after Brady.
He's on his way. I talked to him.
He's here tonight. I talked to him.
Knock at the door.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to lock the doors so I can get something done while he's here because I got a lot of shit to do when he's
a bull at trying to stop.
Yeah.
Joe, will you stay on the road from full recovery and go straight to Rockwell, or will you commute back home? Or
the rig will stay here, and I'll take my pickup home, and we're only 6 hours from here, 6.5, and then we'll pick the rig up and go again, and if we got to bring a spare motor or whatever we got to do, just keep shuffling parts around, and we just weird stuff, Poor John Card's helped me build motors, and he's doing a great job. So, I just want to make it clear, it's nothing he's doing. We're just having weird luck, drop a head off a valve, a valve goes flying through the air, and nobody's fault. Just can't control that. Kicked the rod out the other. I think that was self-inflicted. I got that one motor lean at Tomah. I messed up the fuel on that one a little bit, but so everybody's just gotta, it just you run through them little streaks of luck, and once you get through it, then hopefully you can, get through it and go out and keep pulling that.
Well, I mean, you've got some adversity this year. I don't think you're totally out of the deal, and I know you're going to run hard the rest of the year. So best of luck to you the rest of this year, buddy. I hope you can find that elusive next championship that you've been looking for, and you get that 100th win.
Well, that's all we're looking for. The championship would be cool, but if we can get that 100, that's everything I wanted to do.
Joe, can we throw a party for the 100th? Like, what's the festivities? We can't just here's 100. Like, we got to do something. Yeah. We got to, get a keg or something, right?
Let's burn some tires. I didn't mean to say that. Let's do something.
But we'll worry about that down the road.
We'll put Marty in charge of the 100th win celebration. I'm sure he'll come up with something. We can all.
He's awesome. He always can figure out something. He's always there for me. He's
him good. And Kathy, they're always there. Kathy, she videos all the runs. She sends them to me. And Marty, they're always anything that happens, birthdays, anniversaries, anything. They're always right there for you. So it's pretty awesome to have friends like that.
He's unreal. He tugged an engine from Indianapolis here today for me, and it just planes, trains, and automobiles. He'll always find me a ride, So
that's awesome.
Good stuff.
But thank you, guys.
Joe, we'll let you get back. Little Joe, appreciate you coming on as the star of the show and allowing your dad to join in with you. You guys have been great, and we look forward to seeing you the rest of the summer, and best of luck, this weekend and onward.
Really
Okay.
appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
And
Are either of
Thanks
you
for
two
coming
going to be at Fort?
I
Do
will.
what?
I'm missing my hometown hook to come to Fort Recovery. I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I've got to go to Adam's hometown because he's too good to even go to it. So
Yeah.
somebody's
You know
got-
what? If I felt confident enough to leave one of my tractors here, but they're too heavy, so I mean, I would let Tyler drive one of them, but I wouldn't put him in that position.
Yeah, I haven't been doing the best, so I don't know if I do that. Joe,
Me
one
either,
final
brother.
question before you go. What did you think the first time driving into your hometown, you saw the sign on the side of the road that said, home of Joe Eder, X amount of champion? Like, did that just, like, how does that even happen? Does somebody come to you and say, Joe, we'd like to put this up? Or were you just entering town one day and you saw that baby hanging there?
I got the guy in a white cowboy hat that usually follows us around, and
Oh, yeah,
he'll
Bill
be-
overalls, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so he's our little mayor of our town there, and he's just been that kind of guy, So I got some really good followers, some really good friends, and it's really cool. They made that up for me and that, and they're gonna. If we ever hit 100, they're gonna put a little sign there too, So
And they're
it's cool.
I'm sure there's going to be some smoked sausages that go with it.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, he always brings that kind of stuff. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Awesome.
He-
And
Absolutely.
he's the guy that he puts trains back on tracks. Is that correct,
Yeah.
Joe?
Yeah, they did train derailments their whole life, so it was cool. They
What a world.
they're- Yep, really neat.
He's
Kinda.
never helped me out.
Oh yeah, he'll be there
It was
for
a
you.
joke. It was a train wreck, right?
Yeah, train wreck. Yeah,
There's a train wreck every weekend around UD Motorsports. We need him on
that's
site
right.
at all times.
We've
Yeah, it'd be a full-time job for old boy up there.
Can someone send me his number?
yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Joe, taking the time,
Thanks, Joe.
and giving us your
Good stuff,
afternoon,
Joe.
evening, and talking with us here.
All right,
Yeah.
appreciate it.
See you, little Joe.
Everybody
Take care of
drive
it.
safe.
Hi, Courtney.
Tyler, if you're going to go to that Vandenberg down there, I won 4 or 5 times down there. Just run that right sideline and go fast.
There you go,
Okay.
buddy.
Hey, little
Gotcha.
Joe, I won't be at Fort Recovery, so you can have your first mini rod. Just keep an eye on my tractor if your dad lets you. Deal?
Uh,
No, thank you. No, thanks.
Oh,
No,
God.
thank you. I bet he's turning it down.
yeah,
No, thank you.
All right. Touche.
sounds good.
Thanks, Joe. We
All right,
really
guys.
appreciate it.
See ya.
man.
See ya.
Yep,
See
thank
you
you very
all.
much, guys.
Later.
See you later, Adam.
All right. See you, buddy.
Yeah.
See.
How about that? Joe Eder, man.
Oh.
He's 52 years old. The guy is 70 in the world of pulling. I mean, the guy's been doing it a long time. There's not a better guy probably out there than Joe. I think in the unlimited class, he is the master class of the unlimited class. So
He's arguably, I'd say, the best driver in all of pulling if you just had to line them all up. Like,
yeah, he's
it's
very
it's
good.
Fun. It's fun just watching what he can do on a tractor.
You know, I feel bad now that I was going to ask him. I don't know if he would answer or not. Maybe it's I shouldn't say this, but I want to know. I know, but I want to know when he runs bad, why does he leave so early? Because he's gone. If he don't run good, boy, he's gone.
Oh,
Yeah.
you can't just bring that up after he gets off.
We need to get
more-
him back on here for that. I apologize. I just brought it up when he left. I was like, Joe left.
That's like the guy walking out of the bar and you call him a bitch.
He's
There he
back.
is.
There he is. He's back. We're bringing him back, Joe. We
Ask
gotta
him.
know. We gotta know.
Joe, as soon as you left, Adam was talking smack. Call him out.
No, I was
on
not
it.
talking smack. I was not
Joe, you
talking
backed
smack.
it up. I like
Actually,
No,
we were here
I was not
listening.
talking smack. When
Yeah.
you left, I go, man, I wanted to ask you this because I've always wondered.
unfortunately,
You can get loaded up and be gone faster than anybody I know. Is any
One
of
of
it
my-
have to do with the position that you finish, or is it
No,
just I gotta
never.
get the hell out of here?
no, never. I've never been never ever a sore loser at all. But what it
Yeah.
is, believe it or not, one of my goals, and I'm parked here right now. This is crazy, but I'm set up to load. I can back
And
straight
be
across
gone.
the tennis court, and I'm out of here. And it just
Right.
NHRA makes you stay till 5 o'clock on Sunday,
Really?
and
Yep.
if that was my case, I would jump a tree because
Yeah.
I just couldn't handle that. But I try to beat the crowd, get out on the
No,
road, and I need an hour and a half to wind down. You know, like the other night, Chapel Hill, it took me an hour and a half to wind down, win, lose, or draw, however we finished. But, you know, dissecting what happened or whatever happened, you know. And so it's like, and unfortunately, I'm the only one that drives the semi. And it's like Chapel Hill's 12 hours. So it's like, God darn it, I just got to get on the road. But, yeah, that's cool. But I'll never.
I saw it. I remember one time I was at Goshen, and everybody knows how tough it is. Tyler made the point earlier. The class was still going on, and I saw your rig leaving, and I'm going, "Oh, he don't even know how the class is going to finish, and he's out of here." But you're trying to get to Evansville. I get it. You got to get a head start on it.
Yeah, 237 miles, whatever that is, to Evansville. So 300. Yeah.
Joe, I give you props because I could start loading as soon as the pool got finished, and everybody would still beat me out of the place. So it's kind of funny that I say that.
Yeah. No, that's cool. But no, I appreciate it, guys. But no, I'll never be a hard sore loser or anything. I just got to get my shit in a barrel and get her down the road.
That's right. I hear you, man.
My dad, he's not a sore loser, but when we're coming back from, like, let's just say Bowling Green, the night after, he's still I'm 3 hours into the drive home. Hey, Dad, be quiet.
Yeah.
I love it. I do love it. It means a lot, man. I mean, you do. You have to wind down. You gotta let it all happen.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
All right. So, thanks for coming back on, Joe. I didn't mean to wait till you're gone. I really did want to ask you that because I've never seen a class still going on. Somebody's gone. I mean,
it's pretty funny. I got my phone here, and I was actually starting to write you a text to tell you, the real story of that. So it's pretty cool. I'm glad we put Marty.
No, we want to get you back on there because you got to speak for yourself. I love it.
The guy walks out of the bar. Adam says he's a little bitch.
Yeah, I did not say that. Joe knows.
Actually,
Joe calls me all the time.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's all.
We were listening.
Yeah, Joe calls me all the time. He's always been the first guy to call me. We ran good at Cloverdale one year. He calls me. Obviously at Chapel Hill when Dad passed away, he's right there. I mean, the guy's always been the guy to pick up the phone and call me and to say, "Hey, buddy, we're thinking about you. Hope you're doing good." And I mean, it means a lot coming from him. It really does.
Yep. Absolutely. So cool.
So, thank you, Joe. I said, apologize for waiting for that question, but
it's okay.
Thank you.
It's okay. We're going to be watching for probably 10 more minutes.
There we go.
I don't think we'll be on that long because Chase has got to help load up, or CJ.
They're giving me snarling looks while Joe was talking. They're pushing the 2-wheel drive outside.
I saw it. If you guys have to bring us back on, you can.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right. Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you. See ya.
Adios.
See ya.
That was awesome. I love him.
All right.
It's awesome.
I hate
little Joe to be around Dad. That was the first time we've had the kid.
Double guest.
That was not planned that way either.
No, we didn't even know he was going to be on.
Yeah.
I may have had to cut some of my rapid fires, but it ended up all right.
I was going to say you had to on that.
Family friendly rapid fires, huh?
I feel like we kept it pretty family friendly. By the way, his little Joe almost nailed the dimples on a golf ball question.
That was
well. Shout out to you two guys because once again we say it every 2 weeks, but this was for sure the least prepared show we've ever done, which maybe that shows. We said maybe we could squeak an hour out of this baby, and we're coming in at 1 hour, 59 minutes, and currently 10 seconds. So on that, should we cap it before 2 hours and call that a show?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If Best of luck to both of you this weekend. I'm not going to see either one of you, I guess. Best of luck to both of you this weekend. Hope you do well.
I'll be there in my heart, just not physically.
Okay.
Very sentimental.
Yeah. No, good show, guys. We'll be back in a couple weeks. Got another live episode planning out here. So I know we're all busy as hell, but appreciate y'all making sure we make this happen every 2 weeks for the fans. So, and best of luck and give them all hell. Maybe there can be a night we all three of us win the same night. So Friday and Saturday,
amazing.
All three win. So
that'd be impressive.
Let's make
it's
that
possible.
Happen.
For the first time ever, it's possible. All three of us could win. I will do my best. I have faith in you guys. I don't know about myself. So
you're gonna be all right, Tyler.
Hey, if all three of us win the same night, will you get can we all get no practice podcast tattoos?
No, this is a virgin body, buddy. There's no tattoos going on this baby.
If all three of us,
How about if all three of us win in the same night, all three of us do the one chip challenge at the same time on the show?
I'll do that.
We can do that.
I'll do
No
that.
tattoos. No tattoos.
No tattoos.
All right, guys.
I'll do. We could do
My
a fake
teams yell
tattoo.
Teams yell at me because I told them this.
Okay.
I gotta go.
Everybody remember,
Fans, we love you. What,
everything we say on here is a joke. Don't take it serious. Everybody be calm. We're just having fun. Cheers.
Catch pulling action on Full Pull Live. Make your picks on Full Pull Picks. See you in 2 weeks. Peace.
See you, boys.
Greatest motorsport on earth. Introducing Full Pull Live, your front row seat to all the action. Don't miss our next NTPA national event, the Fort Recovery Grand Nationals, July 26th and 27th from Fort Recovery, Ohio. Sign up at the brand new low price of $39.99 a month. Full Pull Live, the greatest motorsport on earth, streams here.
Wrap.
Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the No Practice Podcast.
Have a good one. Bye.
Stay tuned for the next episode, where we guarantee there still won't be any practice. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.